Hello, everyone.
لعناصر الفصائل الفلسطينية. نتحدث عن كتائب القسام، سرايا القدس، ألوية صلاح الدين، كتائب المجاهدين. تم التنسيق فيما بينها لإتمام عملية التسليم. ونذكر بأن أربيل يهود كانت محتجزة من قبل عناصر سرايا القدس وألوية الناصر صلاح الدين. هذا الاسم الذي أثار أزمة وأخر عودة النازحين الفلسطينيين من المناطق الوسطى والجنوبية إلى مدينة غزة والشمال منذ أيام. يتم الإفراج عنها الآن وتم تصنيفها على أنها مدنية، وبالتالي سيتم الإفراج عن 30 أسيرا فلسطينيا مقابلها ضمن ما اتفق عليه في إطار اتفاق وقف إطلاق النار. كاميرا التلفزيون العربي تنقل لكم التسليم الأول للأسرى من منطقة جنوب قطاع غزة من خان يونس بالتحديد. وهذه المرة ليست هناك منصة كما شاهدنا في
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in for another live stream. Today, we're going to be covering the next phase of the Palestinian resistance releasing more Israeli prisoners of war. And this time it's happening from multiple parts of Gaza. It's happening from Khan Younis, and it's happening from Jabalia. The Palestinian resistance chose these two places particularly. Jabalia, it's under the rubble in the northern part of Gaza. And Khan Younis, the Palestinian resistance chose the residence of Yahya Sinwar, who was assassinated by Israel during Al-Aqsa flood and during Israel's genocide in Gaza. Today, it has been a little bit different than previous times when it comes to the release of the Israeli prisoners of war. for the first time, we're talking about two different places, and there are multiple groups involved in the release. One of them is Al-Qassam Brigades, the armed wing of Hamas. The other organization is Saraya al-Quds, the armed wing of the PIJ. And there are also two other groups called the Salah ad-Din Brigades and the Al-Mujahideen Brigades, with big numbers of the Palestinian resistance fighters and many Palestinians inside of Gaza monitoring the release of the Israeli prisoners of war. So these images are from Khan Younis, where the Hamas leader in Gaza used to live before he was assassinated, of course. He was assassinated in an area called Rafah in the south. And now Arbel Yehud has been given to the Red Cross. She's been handed to the Red Cross. And in Jabalia, there was more of a ceremony. However, in Khan Younis, the Palestinian resistance chose a different path this time. They let people walk for about 150 meters, maybe sending messages to Israel with that, with them walking next to Yahya SINWAR'S house. So Arbel Yehud has been released now. They're waiting for a man called Gadi Moses, and 5 others as well. So both of these images are from Khan Younis at the moment. Before there was a prison exchange in Jabalia as well. It's taking more than usual today. Part of the reason it's taking longer today is because there are many people in the area too. So many people are surrounding these areas, and the Palestinian resistance shows areas and with tight roads and stuff. So it's taking a bit longer than usual. However, from the Israeli side, over 110 Palestinians are due to be released, 30 of which children, 30 with life sentences, and over 30 with maximum sentences too. They belong to different groups, different Palestinian political groups, and some of them are independent as well. But earlier on, during the prisoner exchange, the Palestinian resistance, they chose to have the release on like a table similar to previous times with a Palestinian map, and they kept a machine gun on the table that belonged to one of the Israeli soldiers. So I'll release some of the images, by the way, of the Israeli prisoner of war who was released earlier on. Let's have a look if we can share this video too. It's this one here. So these were the images of the Israeli soldier who was released earlier on in Jabalia. And now things are still taking place in Khan Younis. In Khan Younis, they're still releasing some of the Israeli prisoners of war. And like I said, it's taking longer than usual. It's been about 2 hours now. 2 hours. And thank you everyone for tuning in for an early live stream today. Just wanted to cover what's happening live today. And then again, these are the images coming now live from Khan Younis. Still waiting. No reports of them being released yet. So the Red Cross saying only Arbel Yehud and Gadi Moses have been released so far. Hold, now we're seeing that's Arbel Yehud between the that's Arbel Yehud being released just earlier on by Al-Qassam Brigades and Sarai Al-Quds. She was held by Sarai Al-Quds, the armed wing of the PIJ, and also a movement called Kata'ib al-Mujahideen. And that took place in Khan Younis just moments before. The right image is in Khan Younis now. I have a question. Ramplin saying, is it worse for Hamas to release all of the hostages, given that Netanyahu said after they get them, they'll go back to war? Well, yesterday I spoke about this in one of my videos. A report coming from Israel about a senior figure in the negotiating delegation who was speaking with a family member of an Israeli prisoner of war in Gaza, saying two things. The first thing is that Hamas will not be handing in all of the prisoners of war up until Israel completely withdraws from Gaza. So clearly Hamas know very well the Israeli plan, so therefore they will keep some of them as leverage up until the final stages, up until they make sure that Israel implements everything that they need when it comes to of course, the conditions, ending the war in Gaza and withdrawing from Gaza, allowing everything in, but primarily withdrawing all forces from Gaza. So at that time, he also said that some of them might not be released too. Some of these prisoners of war might not be released, their bodies. And the reason being is the fact that, well, Israel caused so much destruction inside of Gaza, and, well, many of the Palestinians will not be found after this, all of this destruction, and, you know, all of them in the rubble. Therefore, that means some of the Israelis will not be found as well. So that means the prisoners of war, some of them will not go back if the Palestinian side is unable to find them. How are they going to find them? You know, that's the question. So they already know. That's why they're having it in phases, and also to make sure that Israel releases some of the remaining Palestinians that the Palestinian side wants them to release. And these are images earlier on of one of the Israeli prisoners of war being released. So today, the Palestinian resistance sent multiple messages to Israel. Number one, choosing one of the areas as, well, the house of Yahya Sinwar, and letting some of the prisoners of war walk next to it. And then from Jabalia, from under the rubble. Jabalia is in North Gaza. It's an area that has been hit really, really hard. And somehow they came up from Jabalia. These images are from Jabalia. And they handed in one of the Israeli prisoners of war. Also, there were some deception actions happening, clearly to, of course, disguise from the Palestinian resistance, where they had multiple cars arriving initially when some people thought, you know, the prisoners of war are going to be inside them, but then they actually they actually received them in different vehicles. And for some reason, they kept a weapon of the Israeli army on the table, again with the table ceremony, signaling that you'll only get them by talking. You're not going to get anything through war and destruction. And also, a Palestinian map, as you can see on the table here, there's a Palestine map, the whole Palestine map, and the Palestinian flag as well. And someone is asking also if Hamas is giving these hostages certificates. Yes, they are giving them certificates. Some of these certificates confirm that they've learned Arabic. Let's see if we have any new images coming out. This is again live from Khan Younis. Where more Israeli prisoners of war are due to be released. So it looks like some of them are being released now. Yeah, so more of the Israeli prisoners of war are going to go down from the vehicle of the shadow unit that belongs to Al-Qassam brigades, and then moving to the vehicle of the Red Cross. So yeah, they've confirmed that they've taken them now from the Palestinian resistance. So according to the latest updates, it appears that the majority of them have been released now. It appears that the majority of them have been released, 7 or 8 in total. So this round, for everyone who's joining us now, it's the third round since the beginning of the ceasefire, and we're due to have one more round over this weekend. So the Israeli prisoners of war released from 2 places today. One of them was in Jabalia, and one of them was in Khan Younis. So far, someone's asking how many released in total. Approximately 7, according to some of the reports. But again, a few things were hidden up until, or kept, secret up until the last second. Initially, there was an assumption that only 3 will be released. But then some workers were included too as a humanitarian knock. Clearly, there was some understanding about that. The woman seen on the left side is Arbel Yehud, the woman who Israel violated the ceasefire following the Palestinian resistance not releasing her on Saturday, despite the fact that they released the number that is agreed upon when it comes to the ceasefire. However, Israel insisted that she has to be out, although the ceasefire agreement doesn't oblige Hamas to release her at the time. But after Israel started to make violations and also close the Netzarim line, the Palestinian resistance and Israel, they reached an agreement through the mediators to release her during the week, and hence why the organization is a little bit different this time, different circumstances. It had to take place in 2 places too because of the Israeli persistence on her being released. Otherwise, they wouldn't have opened the Netzarim line. So they had this midweek release. We're still due to have another release over the weekend, though. I mean, in faint signals, thank you very much. Tashikoma was saying, was this in the north? Well, one of them was the north and one of them was center, or can be considered south. Khan Younis, Jabalia is in the north. In the middle of all of the destruction, they were released. Ramplans is saying, so that means it doesn't count as release if you take more the same day. Hamas didn't complain. No, clearly that was agreed upon, both between Hamas and Israel through the mediators. And that's why you have 110 Palestinians being released as well today. 30 of them are children, 30 with maximum sentences, and 30 with life sentences too. So now the Red Cross vehicles are going to Karm Abu Salim crossing. It's going to take approximately 30 minutes. And upon their arrival, I think it's going to end from the side of Gaza.